All right. Welcome. That was a FinTech show. Hope you had a good time listening to it. Not just a good time. I hope that it helped you or came in handy for some information and some knowledge that you need to keep you moving. You know how people perish for lack of information? The difference between one who is making it big time in his field, blazing the trail and making meaningful strides is information. Sometimes not just money. If you want to start a business, if you want to start something in your life, sometimes it's not the absence of money. I've heard of people, I've seen people who did not have one kobo in their account, but they went ahead to start a business by collaborating, by partnering, because they got the information of this person, of that person, of this organization, talked with them, partnered with them at different levels, and somehow got it started. And today, they have continued to grow because they've continued to expand their minds. So open up to information. Open up to information. Just a statement, some line of information or, some narrative about some things. Maybe all you need to get you started in that place that you've been stuck for the longest of time. So please, always listen as much as you can and just see in which way the information we bring to you can be of help to you. Good afternoon again and welcome to the sunny side. My name is Swat and I thank you so much for being with me. It's 6 minutes past 1 o'clock and today being Thursday, having taken fintechs, we will be having our major discuss as we look at a couple of stories here and there. And like earlier on, I told you, Fortune is supposed to join me and together we will be bringing to you the stories he'll be analyzing for us here. So I'll be putting that call across to Fortune. Hopefully he gets to pick and then we'll delve into the issues this afternoon as there are so many of them that we want to consider. Okay, yes, the phone is ringing. But taking a look at the headlines today, by the way, please join me on our social media platform, okay? You can join me on the YouTube page, which is Nigeria Info 95.1. And the Facebook page also is 95.1 Nigeria Info or Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja. Just join us via the page, drop messages, and I'll be glad to hear from you and also read from you. Right. So issues of fuel subsidy has been debunked by the government, right? Because many claims at different quarters have said that the government is still paying subsidy, despite the fact that subsidy removal was activated May 29th when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was inaugurated or was sworn in as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The government has come out due to claims at different quarters. And trust me, it's not just even pundits or critics that are claiming that the government is still paying subsidy. Even some government officials, ex-government officials, ex-politicians or people who are in politics are still claiming that government seems to still be paying the subsidy despite the claim that the removal is total. Some have said that if not even because, sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot to put my phone on silence, right? That if not because, okay, now I've forgotten my line of thought. But then, like I said, it's the claim that the subsidy is on. Okay, so yeah, what I was trying to say is that if not because government is still subsidizing, then you can be sure that the fuel prices would have jumped to even way higher prices than the 670 or 80 naira that people are paying in Nigeria. So is it true that the subsidy is still on despite the claims of total removal by the government? Government have said, no, it's not true. Recently, in fact, the Kaduna State governor at some forum came out to make that same claim again that government is indeed paying subsidy. Okay? These are part of the stories we have on the national dailies. Yesterday, we saw the PDP also having their NEC meeting. And part of the agenda, of course, before the NEC meeting, as it was rumored around, was the fact that there was a plot to get the national or the acting chairman of the PDP off his seat. Okay? As the main opposition, the NEC meeting was supposed to hold, and part of the agenda was to get the acting chairman from his seat and probably give it to someone who is probably more active, probably more, proactive and also projecting the PDP much better, speculated by some people. But, well, after that, it was said that the plot or the ploy failed, as he is still the chairman or the acting chairman. As it is. I mean, if those of you who followed that up, you would see how many of the big players, some of the governors, key political players in the PDP, within the PDP circles, gathered together to have that national, the NEC meeting, okay? Which is the National Executive Committee meeting that was held. We saw the FCT minister who had a serious impasse, of course, with the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. They were just sitting 1 seat apart. I didn't see them exchange pleasantry. Maybe we missed out on that. But it was all over on YouTube, on social media. We saw the River State governor also sitting in his own corner. Governors of states like Akwa Ibom, Bauchi, and all the other big wigs within the PDP gathered together for that NEC meeting. And these are some of the issues or some of the news that we have, okay? The president is also in the news talking about people who are threatening the unity of the country, saying that big punishment awaits them. Now, the Yoruba Nation agitators who are said to have been arrested as a result of attack on the state assembly or House of Assembly, and also the government house are said to have been arrested. So that's not unconnected to it. Okay, it's not unconnected to the fact that we've seen at different times, especially within the last administration, where there was a lot of claims and dissatisfaction as a result of the way things were being run. Many people said that there was very glaring nepotism in the last administration in terms of appointment, in terms of, the coloration and the body language of how the administration carried on with things. There was claim that, a certain region where the president comes from seemed to be favored much more than every other region, and then I remember when this administration also came up on board, the same criticism came up, looking at the coloration or the way the appointments were tilting. Some were saying now it's becoming a Lagos thing because the president is from Lagos. And questions have been asked as to, the inclination or, how the presidents make their own appointment, in terms of who they put in there, where they come from, okay? Now, some have defended appointments, saying that when a president make appointment, you would definitely expect that he's going to put in people who will be loyal to him, who he knows and trust them, not just go bring people from anywhere just because he wants to live up to the billings or to the expectation of the federal character, right? It's an argument for and against. I mean, you can see from all perspective and all of that. But I know that in the last administration, based on the point I want to make, is that especially within the Southeast, we saw how, there was a lot of clampdown of activities of people who were restless because of protests against actions and inaction of the last government, policies that were perceived to be against a certain region and so on and so forth. And part of that was, the Biafran agitators. And then also you had all manners of different, set of people who would come out under the guise or under some sort of name, saying that they're agitating. We saw the Yoruba nations. We saw Boko Haram has always been there, and that has a religious coloration to it. But people like Gumi would want to liken, the activities of bandits and say they are also agitators. And we're like, okay, what are they agitating for? Especially bandits who are into kidnapping people for ransom. You wonder, what are they kidnapping or agitating for? If you say Niger Delta, the Niger Delta guys who are in the creeks and they are protesting the desecration of the land, the pollution of, and the fact that so many people are rendered without any source of income because the body of water is polluted, no life is growing in the water, in terms of fish. The flora and fauna is affected. Environment generally, there is a lot of pollution there. People are dying of different sort of diseases because of the long-term activities of oil exploration within that region, and many have said, well, they deserve, if the nation's wealth, one of the major source of the nation's wealth comes from a region like that, then there's no reason, the Niger Delta especially, has no business having to suffer environmental degradation and pollution to the level to which we see it in Nigeria. So at different times, I'm just trying to emphasize how different parts of the country have had some sort of agitation, people coming out under the name of whether Niger Delta, what do you call them now? To Boko Haram, to Yoruba Nation, and all sorts. And the clampdown, too, that followed afterwards. I guess that's the reason why we even have Nnamdi Kanu in court up until now. But then it has, or to some extent, we saw the reduction. Maybe at the coming in of this administration, we saw it dousing down. Not that it totally died off, okay? Because up until now, we still have news here and there of some activities, but not as much as it used to be because of the apparent dissatisfaction based on the way the last administration was carrying on, okay? But now, with what happened in Oyo State, and then that being attributed to the Yoruba Nation agitators, or that action being traced to the Yoruba Nation agitators, the president is jumping in on this. And he's saying that, look, if you are found in any way to be threatening the unity of the nation by your actions, or probably inactions, then you should be ready to face the punishment. These are some of the issues in the news. I'm trying to get across to Fortune. I don't know why he's not picking, but I'll still try some more times, and if not, we'll just go down into the issue and expand on them as we also take your own contribution and your own thoughts shared with us this afternoon. Calling on Fortune Musa, who is not answering. Okay, maybe I'll use another means. Right. So, like I said yesterday, and if you've been following up on the story, 29 of them have been remanded. And also, it has been said that the Oyo State government has demolished their base. I'm talking about the Yoruba Nation agitators. Okay. So let's look at, what the president is saying with regards to the unity of the country and those who threaten that unity. Okay, now, President Bola Tinubu, Wednesday, that's yesterday, promised harsh consequences for people who pit themselves against Nigerian sovereignty and security. He also said his administration has made considerable gains against banditry and kidnapping through intensified campaigns buoyed by intelligence gathering. Those who think they can threaten the sovereignty of the nation or Nigeria will have themselves to blame. They have a price to pay, and we're not going to relent, Tinubu said when he received leaders of the Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, Afenifere, at the State House in Abuja yesterday. The delegation was led by the leader of the Afenifere, Pa Ruben Fasoranti, and Oba Olufalaye, and other eminent citizens. The president's special advisor on media and publicity, Ajirin Gelale, revealed the details of Wednesday's talk in a statement titled President Tinubu receives leaders of Afenifere and says the administration is resolute in achieving economic security in a fair and equitable system for all Nigerians. Speaking on security, the president declared that those who threaten the sovereignty of Nigeria will pay a heavy price. And the declaration by Tinubu came days after the Yoruba Nation agitators dressed in military camouflage and armed with guns stormed the Oyo State Government Secretariat, attempting to hoist the Yoruba Nation flag on the premises of the Oyo State House of Assembly. Okay, the Yoruba Nation promoters are seeking the breakaway of the Yoruba people from the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and they contended that the interests of the Yoruba people had not been adequately protected in Nigeria, saying that their welfare would be better taken care of under a separate sovereign entity to be known as the Yoruba Nation. But Tinubu, speaking on Wednesday, vowed to keep Nigeria as one. He said, I'm irrevocably committed to the unity of Nigeria and constitutional democracy. Constitutional democracy has been reflected greatly here since we assumed office. What we face now is the challenge of terrorism. Okay, those are the issues, and I want for us to consider issues around the unity of the country. I was just trying to take our mind back to all that we have always known that has been happening in the country, trying to see how Nigeria was really driven into a division, especially in the last administration where there were claims of nepotism, how the country was divided into different factions of people who came up and were agitating for, these separatist agitators who were saying, well, give us our own nation. We don't want to be a part of Nigeria. If we cannot be treated with respect and recognized as bona fide Nigerians, then allow us to go and have our own nation where we can carry on the way we also feel will benefit us rather than to be forced into a union. And I remember that this has been big on social media where people are often torn apart, where the North is against the South is against the North, and all sorts, Yoruba against Igbo, Igbo against Yoruba and Hausa. And sometimes it really gets dizzy. So the question as to, what fuels this unity in the country, once again, is coming back. And I want for us to examine that, right? To examine what causes this unity. Is it the actions of government, or people are just being recalcitrant, people are just being stubborn, they just want to break away? Taking our minds back to USSR, back then where it was a conglomerate of so many countries. But then at some point in time, there was division. People went their ways, the likes of Yugoslavia, Ukraine, Russia, and, you can go on and count the number of countries that separated where they once used to be one before. You come to Sudan, you see in a situation where, the northern and southern part had to go their separate ways at some point in time. And if you check through history, there have always been situations, where this sort of things happen. And so, they go through a referendum to consider the fact that, do we want to stay together or do we want to go? And I know I've also heard that within our own lexicon, we're calling for a referendum, but people say, well, the Nigerian Constitution does not even support or does not have anything like a referendum. Maybe we need to amend the Constitution and include that first before we can even talk in that in that respect, because right now we don't have anything like that, or it does not support a referendum, so to speak. And I think that came up even shortly after Brexit, and they were saying, yeah, we need to have a referendum, we need to do this, we need to do that, and all of that. Right now, you might not want to say that, what was obtainable in the last, let's say, 6 years under the Buhari administration. Maybe to some extent we've seen a reduction in the push against by various groups, whether in the north or in the south, southeast, southwest. Right now, they are pushing for it. And the amazing part of it, or the surprising part of it, is that our focus now is on the Yoruba nation agitators, and they're saying, well, we're not being treated fairly. But then you look at it and you see that the president is a Yoruba man himself. So you wonder, how do you try to reconcile this? Is the president really not being fair to the Yoruba race because he belongs to them? Even though in Nigeria it's often encouraged that it doesn't matter where the president is coming from. The president should be a symbol of unity. And in his action, in his outlook, in his decision, in his policies, under his administration, in his appointment, it should be reflective of the heterogeneous nature of Nigerians. Okay? So I'm trying to ask the question, or I want to ask the question right now. Over the years that we've seen a lot of dissatisfaction, whether due to claims of nepotism, due to claims of cronyism, due to claims that things are tilted more in favor of a certain part of the country much more than the other, is that often triggered, by the actions of presidents, or is it the way Nigeria is just unfairly structured that it seems to favor some much more than the other? Can we really have an equitable and just society where everybody feels as a part of it? I remember at some point in time where, the push was there, especially from the South, is saying, well, we have one Biafran nation too, where we would just want to go and start our own country, we want to have our own thing. people also said that, look, you people are agitating. In my own, in my own, tribe or in my own ethnicity, we've not even had people elevated to any sort of position, so to speak. Because looking at it, Nigeria is said to have over 250 tribes, right? And I think it's even so much more than that. Because in one state alone, sometimes you find up to 15, 20 tribes in one state. And we have 36 states of the Federation. And that's not even taking into cognizance the Federal Capital Territory, where you also have indigenous tribes and languages here. So looking at the very complex nature of Nigeria, very heterogeneous. But then when you talk about Nigeria, you say Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo, which is, I think, a very poor reflection of Nigeria, because we're much more than Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. There are too many tribes in Nigeria for us to just say it's 3. But then some would look at it and say, well, just to make it a lot easy, because you cannot call all the tribes or ethnicities all at once. You can just want to broadly categorize them, but then you know that there is so much more to that. Unity of a nation. What causes strife? What causes dissatisfaction? What causes, the fist-cuffs and the pushing and the agitation and the dissatisfaction? Is it as a result of action of the government? Or is it that Nigeria is naturally tilted in an unfair way, so that satisfaction that people are looking for, spread across all the different nationalities or ethnicities in a country, no one can ever find the full satisfaction they desire? At the height of that agitation, some will tell you that in the North, we've not even had a president of the North Central extract. Yes, we have Northern presidents, but, the North, you have Northwest, Central, and then you have the Northeast. So many people will tell you that we've always had the presidents coming from the northwestern part of the country. But what about the North Central? What about the Northeast? Some of those people too also want to feel that they are also part of the nation and can also be in charge or be at the helm of affairs, right? And then you go to all the other parts of the nation. So unity, we keep stressing that. But do we see actions that encourage that unity we often preach, especially on the side of government? When we have national holidays, when we have Salah, when we have Christmas, we have New Year, we have all sort of celebrations, government keeps harping on unity, unity, unity. At the height of the agitations, I always remember, how the president back then would say, anyone who threatens the unity. But then people would always point fingers and say, well, you are at the forefront of leading this country to a place of disunity because of your actions and inactions, because you're not being fair to Nigerians. So how do we solve this puzzle of unity when we talk about unity, so to speak, in Nigeria? What can spur better unity in this country? Is it actions of government, policies of government, appointments, or is it the people themselves that owe themselves that duty to be united as a people? Because when you come down to individuals like you and I, everyday Nigerians, you ask people, and the first thing is that people feel more affiliated to their national, to their ethnicities much more than the feel of being Nigerian. Maybe outside of the country, when you see somebody, you say, are you Nigerian? Yes, you're Nigerian. But here in Nigeria, most of the time, the first thing you always want to be recognized as is either I'm a Hausa man, I'm a Yoruba man, I'm an Igbo man, I'm a Tiv guy, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. Never a Nigerian. We don't get to see that. So the people too may be culprits too when it comes to issues of disunity in the country. What do you think? So let's talk about issues around unity and disunity in the country, and how much more can we achieve, or how much unity or harmony can we attain as a people living together, coming from different extracts, different parts of the country. Okay? Are we able to even attain this in the real sense of the word? Talk to me about this. 0700 951 0000 and 080 999 30137, which is the WhatsApp. You can send me a message on that. Then also an alternative number to dial is 080 9597 4869. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, my name is Edward.
Welcome, Edward.
Yeah, the question we ask is unity of the country. Is just very simple. Inclusiveness. Inclusiveness. Let me give you a good example. The guy who just left Mr. President Buhari, he said on the top of appointments he did, he deliberately excluded some parts of the country. Clearly, and he also was proud of it, but he challenged whoever that talks about it. The guy who is in the saddle now, look at the appointment he's doing, and be sure that he's bringing all his Lagos boys to work at the federal level. And I'm sure you are aware of this. I'm sure people will come against me because I'm saying it, but that's the truth. If you want unity of the country, let there be inclusiveness. If I am a well-included, I don't care who is the president of the country. If what you do for me, I get it, the progress I need is get to me, I won't bother myself. But by the time you bring in others when you want to share project, you look at where the project is located and fund it according to the location. Look at this Lagos Calabar Expressway. You can be sure the politics behind it. You know the politics behind it. So, my dear, if government wants the unity of this country, please let them engage themselves in inclusiveness in appointment, inclusiveness in allocation of projects, inclusiveness in everything of national interest. Thank you, Swat, for giving me the chance.
Okay, thank you, Edward. Hello? Hello? Okay, I thought... Okay, yes, I can hear you now. Hello?
Can I comment on the other news line that you read before?
What did you say?
Like, I said, can I comment on other news line? You know, about the Erufai talking about the subsidy being paid for petrol or something like that for that nature. My name is Salasi, by the way.
Okay, I hope you come back to our conversation, though.
Yes, I'll come back to our conversation.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
We don't want to hear that from Erufai. Everybody knows that they just come and increase fuel price. They say subsidy is gone, but in actual sense, we know that if they remove the total subsidy, we will be buying fuel at the rate of 1,000 naira per liter, compare with diesel. So these are the things. And I wonder why our refinery, for the past, in fact, this month, say in the next 2 weeks, now the month of April is about to elapse. And still up to now, nothing happened to our refinery. They promised us since last year, this year, the first quarter, second quarter, now we're in the second quarter, and nothing has been done to our refinery. When is our refinery going to work? They have been pumping money, huge, millions of dollars in our refinery, and nothing has been done to our refinery. Then come to the issue of unity. Honestly, everyone know what happened for the past administration. In the aspect of President Muhammadu Buhari, everybody knows his nepotics in the aspect of appointment and so on and so forth, and that is what even rise the agitator the more. But me, I wonder why now it's a Yoruba man that is a president, and the agitation are coming from the southwest. When you look at the appointment, to be sincere, this president is a little bit fair for balancing the appointment when you check the appointment. So I see no reason. And somebody shouldn't compare the Boko Haram and the killer herdsmen as agitator. No, they are not agitator. Because the Boko Haram will come and say, this is what they want their caliphate. And because of that, they will be killing people for that. So no one should compare them with the people of Niger Delta. Niger Delta came out and said, yes, with the degradation, how they stole their land, and this is what brought them out. I remember late Umaru Musa Yaradua calmed them down. He called them, and that is why he bring this program of amnesty to the Niger Delta, and everything was, the tension was down. It was down in the aspect of Niger Delta. But with the comment of Buhari, everything spoiled. So in that case, we shouldn't compare the killer herdsmen, the Boko Haram, as agitator. So even me, in my community, they have no project of federal or state government. In my community, in the village that I come, then will I be agitated? So these are the things we are talking of, the unity of this country, and involved with leadership. Carry everyone alone. I'm telling you, this project called Nigeria shall be greater again. Thank you, my sister. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Salasi, for the contribution. Hello? 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 Uh-oh. Call me back. Hello?
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. My name is Abdul calling from Jabi.
Okay.
The backbone of the disunity we found ourselves is lack of credible leaders with the conscience of God in them. That is what brings all these things that we've been experiencing in the country. In a situation whereby most of the previous government we have, you cannot bring anyone to the book and ask him about what God says as a believer. He has nothing to explain to you on the respect of that. They all think about the material things of the world. And when they acquire it, give them 100 years with the trillions of dollars and 100 years. You cannot enjoy even the food you are eating. Unless you will see your grandchildren and your children enjoying the exclusive cars and the shopping they go and do in your own presence, they will only make a path to you and manage you before you give up. They will take you back to the grave and face the consequence of what you do. That is the reason why you see so many problems in the country. That's why I always pray to have leaders with conscience of God, with knowledge of what God is talking about every day. When He gives you position of government, how can you unite your people? How can you government them very well? How can you give their life to be very easy, engage them to enjoy the material things that God gives you? That is the reality. But in our own situation here, we ignore all what God is saying. He gives power. If we ask each and every leader that we have, they will say it's God that gives power. Yes, we people have to reunite ourselves, because even our Creator, He said, if we mingle between us, forget about tribe, religion, or whatsoever. Between ourselves, when we mingle, that is how the world is going to extend to reach each and every one of us. But at last, the time and day that He gives each and every one of us, when it comes, whether sickness or no sickness, you will go and live it. That is the truth of the matter. So we pray God to give us leaders with conscience of God.
Okay.
And we should unite ourselves.
Okay.
And
Thank
be
you.
faithful to ourselves. Thank you very much. Keep doing what you're doing and do it very well.
Thank you, Abdul. Right. So Abdul is saying we need more God-fearing leaders. When you have deliberate leadership, then maybe issues of disunity may dissipate, and we also owe it to ourselves to be more united as a people, right? Anyways, let's move on to the next caller. Hello.
Hello, thank you, Swat. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you. My name is Ibrahim. I'm calling from local Dakwel.
Okay. Thank you for joining me. Go ahead.
You see, all these discontent and agitation of non-inclusiveness and all this stuff, they boil down to the laxities, with all due respect to the country and our constitution. That 1999 constitution is highly contradictory. On one hand, it preaches national unity and integration of people. On the other hand, in these sections, it preaches discrimination, indigenous, non-indigenous, contradicting itself. And that constitution does not promote meritocracy anywhere in this world where merits are not rewarded. Assuming now, in your place of work, you put in the hours, the earnings, the education, the commitment, but a mediocre somewhere will come and be promoted. How will you feel happy? I think that is the problem, where meritocracy is not the main bedrock for getting things in Nigeria. I know that even in the United States, in the UK, there are things that are called affirmative action policies, whereby you feel certain people are disadvantaged, these are disadvantaged. There are deliberate policies to make other people come on board for them to evolve to it. But meritocracy, that merit is something that should not be compromised. Anywhere merit is compromised, people will feel bitter, they will feel shortchanged, they will not feel happy to be part of that system. Meritocracy and the policies of national integration must be well implemented. Because you know Swat, I know you're someone of Kaduna heritage. Assuming you relocate to Akwa Ibom or Obomo to go and have your children there, they were born there, they were raised there, they were chewing gum and butter there. Believe you me, even if they are born in the palace of the traditional rulers of those places, they will still be tagged as. In fact, most times foreigners are treated better than most Nigerians. They were born outside or born and raised outside places that have ethnic or bloodline origins. Those things are not good.
Yeah.
They are not good.
They're very correct.
And the Constitution encourages it. It encourages it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you. That's some very salient points you've raised there, with regards to the way our Constitution is just crafted. I don't know. Anyways, the question this afternoon is, we're trying to re-examine again the issue of unity in the country. Many times we get here our president, our leaders talking about unity is not negotiable, blah, 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 but are widely dissatisfied. And if people are widely dissatisfied, you stop them from pushing and agitating for what they want that they feel can bring them satisfaction. As we've seen a rise in dissatisfaction and agitation for, secession by different groups that have come up at different times in Nigeria, agitating for one or the other. We talk about the Niger Delta agitators. We've seen the Biafran secessionist move. We've seen now the Yoruba nation. Some people have even laid claim that some of the activities of Boko Haram and are also, geared towards agitation of some sort. But what sort of agitation is that? I don't know if that in the equation. But we're looking at unity in Nigeria, asking the question again, is unity a function of what the government does or what they do not do? Especially the president is the leader. Because in the last administration, we'd always borrow from it because we saw a rise in secessionist agitation and move, especially, coming from the Biafran secessionist or protesters or agitators, in the last administration. And there was a lot of clampdown here and there. And then later we also saw the Yoruba nation coming up. Now, is unity a function of good leadership, especially exemplified by presidents through policies, through actions and inactions, through appointments, a lot? Or is it a function of people themselves that owe it to them to be united? Because in Nigeria, I don't know, even as individuals, as how united we are as a people. And the complexity of the nation, looking at the fact that we have wide variety of different entities, is it even possible to attain a sort of unity, to speak, in the country? So that's the question I'm asking this afternoon. I want you to jump in on the conversation and lend your voice to it. Let's hear your take this afternoon. Hello. Okay, or send your messages to the WhatsApp. We're streaming live on Facebook, Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja. Please follow us and like and also your comments. We would really appreciate that. And also go to our Facebook page, Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja, or Nigeria Info FM Abuja on YouTube. Drop your comments there. I would really hear from you. Habila Haruna, you said you're watching live from Katsina. Thank you very much. Thank you for reaching out, Habila Haruna. Then Chukwachku is live in Dape. Thank you. Calvin Chinedu, Yankee, afternoon, Swat. Watching you from Nsuka. I miss Nigeria Info. Me too. And then Aguifying Nana said, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Nana. Thank you for reaching out. Let's also see what we have on our WhatsApp. We come back to the phone lines and continue this conversation. This one said, the problem of these leaders is that they don't understand times and changes. The older ones are the people thinking Nigeria must be dead, but the younger ones are saying the opposite. In the minds of many, Nigeria is divided, just waiting for the formation. The unity of any nation starts with the leaders and their policy formation. Then citizens follow, says OG. Okay, thank you for that. Chinelo said, good afternoon, Barrister Swat. How are you? Anytime I hear one Nigeria, it pains me so much. The law is one-sided, which is not meant to be so. Kanu was in detention many years ago till now. Nothing has been, even when the court say him to go back. Because of hatred, where is the unity and love? The Igbos are always being humiliated in everything. They should change the narrative. Government promised to fix our referees. Till now, nothing has been done. We do the needful. Thank God for Selassie that always said the truth. He said things that it is. May God help us, says Chinelo. Thank you so much. Hi, Swat Airwaves. I'm Fresh Prince from Wuse. Hello, Fresh Prince. You said my take as regards to agitation is government is fueling the agitation. Situation where some group takes the largest share of what belongs to all of us. And in this part of the world, it might be able to keep everybody together as we are too decided. So the government, or divided, I guess. The government should try to bring everybody together. Fairness to all, equal share of natural resources. Thank you, Fresh Prince. Appreciate that. Then this one said, Nigerians are very united. An example are our markets. All tribes are doing businesses in peace. It is selfish politicians and the elites that usually introduce elements of tribe and religion to cause disunity, says Sheung Adebo in Gwarimpa. Thank you, Mr. Sheung. Good afternoon, Swat. My name is Ash from Abuja. I am from Utonkong in Benue State, also known as Ufia. I have always felt that my people have little or no recognition, especially when it comes to political gain. I feel it's in the DNA of how Nigeria is structured. Minority tribes are also important. I greet you especially. Indeed, that's what a lot of minority tribes, also push for and say, well, if you people say this and that, how about us too? We're also Nigerians. We're also a part of the country. No matter how little you people say we are, or no matter how minority in the scheme of things we are, it's also our country. We also need to be recognized. We also need to have a feel of some sort of elevation to high places, to positions, to know that we also are stakeholders in this country called Nigeria. So how fair are we to each other? Is it just about one tribe or some tribes? What about all the other tribes? I'm not very sure we have, accurately captured the number of ethnicities that we have in Nigeria. Well, one might say, well, we're close to maybe 500, maybe not, but there are so many. Is it even possible that every tribe, every ethnic group in this country can have a feel of belonging, a sense of belonging? Is it possible? How does government come in? How do individual Nigerians come into this whole equation is what I want for us to push with this conversation. Good afternoon, Swat. I'm with Mr. President concerning to the so-called Yoruba Nation agitators, because they're nothing but taught, and no reasonable Yoruba sons and daughters is with them. So they're just joking with their demands. If referendum should be conducted today, they will fail woefully, says Oludade Abiodun. In the last administration of Buhari, after his borrowed statement, I'm for nobody and I'm for everybody, we saw complete opposite of the statement. In fact, we witnessed mother of all nepotism and corruption. Nigerians are more divided, even more than post-civil war. How worse can a country get? Never again, says Leo. Barrister Swat, good afternoon. My name is Ezemath from Karmu. One major problem we have in this country is that we don't actually know when our leaders tell us the truth. Most times they tell us lies, and that is the reason why I can never support the fact that subsidy is gone entirely until I see the full reflection of the overall Nigerian economy. Thank you so much. Shinovic from Maitama said, concerning the subsidy removal announcement, let's not look at it as who's being economical with the truth. Rather, let's look at it at what generated the money used for paying subsidy. Like the former governor of Kaduna State posited that 8 trillion naira has been used to pay subsidy. What productivity generated 8 trillion naira? Okay, thank you so much. My name is Kuje from Duse Sagbai, Abuja. Okay, just send that. So let's come back to the phone lines. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
God bless you. You are well done.
Thank you so much.
Okay, my answer to this question is that, let me start with the family. As parents, you have children. And among the children, you pepper some of the children than some. What will be the reaction of those children? There is no way those children can cooperate, and there is no way that family can be in peace. That is a clear indication that The problem we have in this nation is from our leader, from the government. For an example, it really becomes so obvious during last regime of Buhari. When Buhari came on board, the country was like dividing into many sections, many tribes, because he didn't carry everybody along. He said some tribes did not vote for him, so he will not give them more than some percentage. It is very wrong for a president to make such comments, and he expressed it. He did it. Everybody knew about it. We can, for an example, when he traveled out, then the vice president took over for about 3 months. I could remember the vice president had to visit South, visited Southeast, visited many a part of the country like that, and maintain peace, waiting for him to come. And those people that were accepting were waiting for the president to come and carry on from what he founded. But when he came back, the next thing was to silence the vice president and continue to do what he wants to do, nepotism and all these things. And from then, that's why this nation becomes what it becomes even up to now. All we need is a president that will carry everybody along, and you will see peace in this country.
Okay.
Thank you, God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you, sir. Appreciate. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Barrister Swat.
Welcome. I'm fine, thank
How
you.
are you doing?
I'm okay.
All this agitation are games, political games, controlled by ruling elite. Just like you right time in opening remarks, I review every ethnic group in Nigeria to construct themselves into agitation group, the national group. Then what will be left of Nigeria? Imagine in Gaza, 6 guys block River Niger, River Benue, so you can't cross from north to south. What will happen? If they are being allowed, they are being tolerated. So they are not in majority, they are in minority. Even in the United States, which is the vanguard of democracy, we have secessionists, people with secessionist sentiment, who up to today, whenever there is protest on the streets of America, you see people waving the Federal flag, the secessionist flag. We have the KKK, who believe in white supremacy. So they are everywhere. But if they will not pursue nuisance, they will not triple economy, they will not be killing people, they can find a business. It's aspiration. They can continue pushing that aspiration until constitutionally maybe they are given self-determination if they will not disturb anybody. But in case they constitution set into nuisance, that is the problem. What are they? Mr. President, if committed to Nigeria, President Tinubu, why does President Tinubu allegiance lie if he has not become a president of Nigeria? That is the question we have to ask. You one by yourself, you have to say that why does Mr. President Tinubu allegiance lie if today is not the president of Nigeria? He is committed to Nigeria 100%, the unity of Nigeria. The unity of Nigeria is not rhetoric, it's not a sentiment, it's not a public speech. You have to interpret the well-being and welfare of Nigeria. You share great wealth to ordinary Nigeria. They enjoy soccer, they enjoy food life, they enjoy better facilities, they enjoy good education, health care, everything they derive. And that is what you, it's not rhetoric. It's not what you promote on pages of newspaper, on ordinary paper.
Okay.
I'm a peasant. I'm a local peasant. I have Abubakar. What do I derive from Nigeria? Being a Nigerian citizen. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
I'm so committed to Nigeria well-being. I want Nigeria to turn the economy rate of all other nations of the world. But they are taking Nigeria forward. They are following Nigeria into economic support. We have the capacity, we have the brain power, we have the mineral resources, we kindly empower other areas of Bangladesh. We can produce over 100 million forward, not even Africa.
All right.
So they should stop this back and forth. It is all political.
All right. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon to you.
My name is Monday Shane.
Welcome, Mr. Monday.
What? Yeah, Frank, the issue of unity of Nigeria is just on the leaves. There's nothing like that, and I will be very frank to you. This problem is caused by this majority, the Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. The nepotic nature of these three major languages is too much. If you go to any organization where they are hate, if it is a Yoruba, you will see all Yoruba cleaner. You will hardly see, you don't feel. People that the unity of this country, to be very frank, the so-called minority, they are the one that believe in the unity of this country. So if he's just saying it, check his up. Of course, he's just better than Buhari. Let's be very frank. He's far better than Buhari. But of course, if you check his appointment, you understand what it is. So when we talk of unity of this country, well, it's just in the list of the most especially the three major languages. People that believe in the unity of this country is the minorities. If you check Jonathan's administration, it was totally different, where he tried to bring all trash into the system. So please, as everybody asked, one in practical time rather than people just saying it with their mouth. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Monday Shaheen. Let's read some messages this afternoon as we continue with more calls. It's already 1:57. Okay, in about 3 minutes, we have the trending news. Then we round up. Good afternoon, Swat. My contribution to your discussion this afternoon is to commend you for your fair and balanced analysis in your presentation, particularly when you dissect issues bordering on the state of the nation. I've watched you closely. You don't analyze issues giving consideration to where you come from, and you do this consciously. Please keep it up. NWBC Ejiogu from Apple Urban Market. Oh, thank you so much for your fair observation. I appreciate that, NWBC. That's what we're here for, right? Not to be biased towards anybody. Just speak the truth to power and to the issue. I appreciate that so much. Barrister Swat, if you ask me, I will fault our history. Like the story we have been told, the average indigenes of the three major ethnic groups have a sense of bigotry against each other. The political elites only play the card of ethnicity bigotry with some of us and play and dance to their tunes. We all need to be told the truth and how it will be pleasing to our ears, says Daniel. Thank you so much, Daniel. The Yoruba Nation agitators, heaven knows, is just mere eye service. Make it no be like say because their brother is ruling, they stopped. Talking about the agitation and separation or separatists, if I had my way as a minority tribe that I come from, I'll separate my local government out of Nigeria. Unlike the three major tribes, the agitation is mere selfishness. The Wazobian tribes makes it look like Nigeria evolves or revolves around them. Without them, Nigeria is nothing. As Niger Republic, Gambia, with all due respect of those nations, mouth is the name. Yeah, you heard the right. Okay, let's leave that part. Now, for you. All right, let's stop for this quick trending news. Then we'll be right back to continue as we begin to round up. Then we'll delve into our sunny conversation. So stay tuned for the trending news. It's about 3 minutes thereabout, and then I'll be right back. Stay with me.
This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info.